So it looks like Walgreens is going to be shutting down a bunch of their stores. Right, everyone's familiar with Walgreens, very popular drugstore, and what they have like 8,700 stores nationwide. And based on reports, they're going to be shutting down, maybe closing about a quarter of that. So that's over 2,000 stores nationwide that they're going to be closing. And if that's not an indicator of where the economy is going, then I don't know what it is, right? Everyone talks about how the economy's great, low unemployment, stocks are doing well, so the economy must be doing well. But if you ask people, everyday Americans, they'll tell you exactly how they feel and where they feel that the economy is going. So when you look at Walgreens, and that says, as of February, Walgreens has closed 625 U.S. stores, right? And you've seen this all over the place, right? You've heard of all these stores closing around the country. I mean, I think I heard Hooters was shutting down like a bunch of their stores. I think I've heard Walmart shutting some stores down, and you hear this everywhere. Wherever you go, wherever you live, wherever they're closing businesses down, and that gives you an idea of where the economy is going. Like things are not going well, especially when it comes to finances. And you factor in different things like maybe theft and all different other reasons for why stores might be shutting down. It tells you exactly how the economy is going, and it's crazy too because I think a couple of weeks ago I was in AutoZone. Right, and I was about to check out, and then some man comes in. Right, he's real loud, and I was like, all right, he clearly has some like mental health issues or something like that. And I'm about to check out, and I hear somebody say, yeah, I don't care about nothing. I don't care about nothing. So I turn around, and I'm looking at the guy. He's looking at me, and he's like taking some of these stuffs right in his pocket and stuff it right in his pants. I'm like, okay, and I'm about to go check out. I'm like, you see this guy? He just taking stuff, right? The cashier just looks at me, doesn't say anything. I said, all right. I guess that's just the way it is. So then I walk out the store, I see him get on his bike, and he just rolls away, right? So you see that's where it's going. Like you see these stores, especially when you ever go to these stores, it's like you see them all locked up. Like for me personally, like I don't even really shop at Walgreens like that. I don't even really go at Walgreens. Like, I mean, it depends. Like, I don't know. You tell me, like, how often do you shop at Walgreens? Like me, usually if I go, you'll see me at Walgreens. It's maybe if I have to go to, go to an ATM, right? Because I use like the bank account that I have is online. So they have a bunch of all-point ATMs around. So I'll just have to go to like a CVS, Walgreens to go get some cash if I need some cash, or maybe if I need some something like I'm away from home and I need to pick something up real quick. Maybe I'll go into Walgreens. But usually, obviously, I rarely shop at Walgreens. Usually, I'll probably go to CVS. But I just don't see myself going there all the time. But I know for a lot of people, they use that obviously to get the drugs that they need. But clearly, they're not doing well. And if you look at their shares, they talk about the company shares have fallen 22% as of this past Thursday, and 54% on the year. So clearly they're not doing well in terms of sales. So you see why they have to shut a bunch of places down. And of course the ones that they're shutting the stores that they're shutting down are the ones that are underperforming, right? Depending on the location. But you can see where it's going, and for a lot of people, maybe you just don't really need Walgreens as much as they do, right? People have other places to get the drugs that they need, and obviously they're seeing this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to read this article from the New York Times, right? And it's gonna break down like some of the reasons why they're probably they're closing all these stores down. So it says on what New York Times says, Walgreens plans significant store closures citing weak consumer spending. Obviously, that's another reason, right? And that's another indicator, right? Obviously, people, when it comes to the economy, people are pulling back when it comes to their spending. People are getting tapped out when it comes to their credit cards. So people are saying, you know what? All right, I do not have the money to obviously make purchases. I got to purchase other things I need. And Walgreens is obviously taking a hit when it comes to that. So it says, Walgreens is planning to close more of its roughly 8,700 stores in the United States. Its parent company said on Thursday, after the retail pharmacy giant reported third quarter earnings that fell short of analysts' expectations. The pharmacy chain also cut its profit outlook for the year, citing worse than expected consumer spending. So, based on a quote, he says, we witness continued pressure on the U.S. consumer. Tim Wertworth, Chief Executive of Walgreens Boots Alliance. Our customers have become increasingly selective and price sensitive in their purchases, right? And of course, that's because of the economy, right? Things are more expensive. People have to be more selective with the things that they buy, right? And obviously for Walgreens, they're taking a hit on that. And it says, well, as of February, Walgreens has closed 625 U.S. stores. The company did not specify how many additional stores it will close as part of a significant multi-year program to cut back on this cost. But roughly a quarter of the pharmacy's chain U.S. stores, those that the company doesn't see as a crucial to its long-term strategy, could be affected, Mr. Winkler said. All right, it says the company shares, which tumbled more than 20% on Thursday after its earnings report ended the day with about 22%, they have fallen 54% a year. And it says Walgreens said it was seeing signs of strain on lower income consumers, particularly driven by high inflation and depleted savings. Last month, on the heels of a similar move by Target, Walgreens said it would cut prices on over 1,300 products in response to sluggish consumer spending. And this is what happens, right? When people start to feel it in their pockets, they start to get more strict on like what they're going to buy. And of course, depending on what their needs are. And Walgreens, I'm sure they have a lot of things that people need, but obviously they feel like they probably can get it somewhere else. Maybe they're going to Walmart, or maybe they're doing it online, whatever it is. Or maybe they, like Walgreens needs to cut back on the retail space, right? Maybe they're not doing well when it comes to retail. And that's something they also talk about in this article. So it says the company's leadership has been in flux over the past year. Wentworth joined the retailer parent company in October as the drugstore operator faced weakening demand at its retail locations and after its previous chief executive resigned in September. Neil Saunders, the manager director of global data retail, said in an email comment that Walgreens' own strategic decisions, not just consumer behavior, were also at fault. He said that the retailer should have been investing more heavily in private label products to drive sales in a value-conscious consumer environment. Walgreens is a company in a tangle, Saunders said. Over the past few years, it has not been run with focus and it now needs a huge injection of discipline to sort out the business. So maybe they needed a new person to come in there with a new vision on how to obviously drive more business towards their business. And maybe that's what they need. And maybe, sometimes these businesses, they lack focus and direction on what they're trying to do. And maybe it's better to get somebody else in there that can, improve the business. So it says Britton Ladd, an independent strategy and business consultant, also pushed back on Walgreens' characterization of weak consumer spending as the main culprit. Walgreens sells products like household items that consumers are still buying, Mr. Ladd said. The company, he added, should focus on improving the consumer experience at its stores and offer private label products for groceries and other essential items rather than shuttering retail locations in pursuit of profitability. I mean, I'm not sure how you can improve the consumer experience. I know one thing is obviously it would be nice to you go into these drugstores and everything is locked up. Right, and so you got to go ask the person to do that. I mean, to open it up, and obviously that destroys customer experience as well. But obviously the reason why they're doing it is because of theft. Right, people are going in and they're stealing, so they have to have guards against that. And obviously that affects everyone. When people are going in there stealing and nothing is happening to them, that obviously affects the business. The business is losing money, so what happens? They're going to shut it down, and of course that's going to affect the local economy. Right, and that's not a good thing. But maybe I think that's one way they can improve customer experience, because it sucks when you just go in there, everything is locked up. But at the same time, I understand why they're doing it. So it says Walgreens is coming up with an excuse after another to hide the brutal fact Walgreens is terrible at retail, Mr. Ladd said, and that's the Achilles heel for the company. He also said the strategy at the executive level needs to change in order for the company to increase its profits. So other U.S. pharmacy chains are undergoing significant restructuring. So I mean that's what's going on with Walgreens. Obviously, for a lot of people, when you look at this and you see Walgreens shutting down a bunch of business, right? Over 2,000 businesses is a lot of business, right? There's a lot of stores around the country, and that's not just something that you just gloss over, right? You look at the economy and you see things, people struggling with the cost of living, inflation, and then you see businesses shutting down. That's never a good thing as well. So it's something that you obviously want to keep your eye on, because when you read the news, they make it seem like everything is going well in the economy, and for a lot of people, they feel it. Right, they feel that things are struggling, and if you're not managing your money properly, then of course you're going to feel it even more. And especially if you're someone on the lower, when it comes to the economic scale, it's going to hurt your pockets the most. So it's going to be interesting to see how much develops, especially over the year. Like if you see more businesses shutting down the way they are, and obviously that's not a good thing. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Make sure to leave a comment down below, hit the like button and share. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe. All right, so you guys take care, and I'm going to go later.